Louisiana, which is essential for the community, became polluted with aluminum.
On December 6th, this issue started to become noticeable when the fish started floating at the surface of the river. 4.6 million fish were killed because of this tragedy. The White River is now devoid of any fish life.
We met with a group of scientists that explained how they determined the cause of the deaths. They conducted 4 essential steps to solve the mystery of the fish kills.
In an experiment they conducted using solubility rules, they tested for presence of pollutants in the river water by mixing samples of river water in solutions that were tested in the lab and are also known to cause precipitates. They did this by putting a few drops of river water in a well plate. They put a sample of NaOH, Na2SO4, and FeNO3 into one of the river water samples. They observed and looked for a precipitate, which is when they found aluminum present in NaOH.
The group of scientists also used solubility rules in the second experiment conducted. Their goal in this experiment was to formulate general solubility rules based on experimental observation. They found that aluminum was present in Na3PO4 and also NaOH, similar to the first experiment.
In the third experiment, they were trying to determine the concentration of aluminum in the river water. Because of the first 2 experiments, they know now that the common factor is aluminum, but they don't know the concentration of it, which is why this third experiment came to be. Their lab didn't have instruments sensitive enough to measure in micrograms, so they sent off their sample of river water to another lab. The other lab mixed the river water with an excess of sodium phosphate. There an aluminum precipitate formed, and then they dried and weighed it. Shortly after, the scientists in the original lab were informed that their 50 milliliter sample produced 60 micrograms of aluminum phosphate precipitate. They stated that the concentration of aluminum in the water was enough to be a concern because it is over 3 micromoles, so it is a major concern.
In their final experiment, they involved concentration and dilutions. They created a sample of river water with a known concentration of aluminum using serial dilutions. They weighed out 2.13 grams of AlNO3 at 0.0001 milliliters of concentration. The color of the solution became clear. Because of this, it became known that the aluminum would not be visible to the naked eye because it would dissolve.
After finding out the discoveries of the scientists, they listed the possible sources of this killing. These included the sewage treatment plant, coal power plant, and the aluminum smelting plant. They then continued to explain though that 2 most used in water were the sewage treatment plant and the coal power plant. That leaves up with only 2 possible sources left.
We have now concluded that the main source of this killing was the sewage treatment plant. We believe this because aluminum was used as a flocculant in water treatment, and some aluminum may remain in the water when it is discharged. And old pipes in urban areas are the main source of lead in waterways. This is how it got in the water system and killed the fish.
Thank you for joining us today on this special of today's water systems.
Now we will insert a clip of a recent tragedy just like this one.
An investigation is on after thousands of fish have died in Kansas City's Brush Creek. State conservation agents think more than 52,000 fish have died, mainly sunfish. They were found along a 4-mile stretch from the plaza to near Elmwood. Stagnant water combined with recent heat could be